really call it an achievement. No. I guess in a way it is. Ano ba naiyak ako? I think having gone through a loss with my child. Welcome to Flip Pinay's. Who is JJ? JJ is, in reality, a very quiet person. Very introverted. Very shy. Very... well, she likes to dabble on the creative. But she's like a jack of all trades. Mistress of none. What's it called? Pag babae, pag female version, Jacqueline, Jane of all trades, mistress of none. JJ loves God. JJ loves Michael. Who is JJ? JJ loves to have fun. JJ loves to laugh. JJ loves books. JJ is a person who enjoys hanging out with friends, but she doesn't like to be in the spotlight, like what is happening right now. This is really making me feel awkward. So yeah, that's JJ. I first arrived in the UK 5 years ago, October 15th. 2015 to be exact. So that was the first time I stepped foot in the UK. So that's just a little over 5 years now since I've moved. The differences would be primarily language, of course. So in China, yeah, I got to work with people and who spoke English, but also it was difficult to navigate the city if you're just by yourself, unless you know where to go or you know which mode of public transport you're supposed to get into. But thankfully I have my cousins and my aunt and my uncle with me then, so they kind of showed me which way to go, and I had a lot of Filipino friends as well who were in China with me. So that was fine, that made it easier. I also had American friends, foreign teachers that were working. Cut daw muna, sabi ni ma'am. Sabi ni direct take to.
Action!
So saan na ba ako? So yun nga, it was easier. It's easier to...
May kalesa kasi. May karwahe. Dalian mo tayo, ang ingay ng tambutso mo.
Si direct mainit ulo.
Right.
So yun nga, it's the language, and I don't know, because when I was in when I was in China, I worked as a teacher, so that wasn't as hard as I had thought it was going to be. I had some training in doing that. Pero when I moved here, that's when it got really difficult, because I started work in the UK as a care worker. And I never imagined myself doing it in my entire life. I would always say, after having experienced 6 months of working as a care worker, as a healthcare, what they call it?
Healthcare assistant.
Healthcare assistant, yun. Healthcare assistant. 6 months of working, you need a special heart to last long in that line of work. So, sa lahat po ng mga healthcare workers dyan, saludo po talaga ako sa inyo because I've seen what it was like. Hindi ko talaga siya kinaya. 3 days a week lang yung work ko noon. But I work 12-hour shifts. 12 hours a day. So by the time that I finish work, sobrang pagod na ako. And on the days that I'm off, I would also prefer to just stay at home and rest kasi ang hirap ng trabaho. Alam mo yung doon ko naranasan yung pag-uwi mo sa bahay, yung literal na ang dumi-dumi ko. Ganon. Yung mapapaganon ka na lang, mapapawalling ka na sa ang dumi-dumi ko. But no, kidding aside, it was a very difficult job. It was a job that I never envisioned myself doing. It was a job that I never, ever thought I would do. But because kailangan kumita, hindi kami mabubuhay otherwise. Well, mabubuhay kami, pero we wouldn't be able to enjoy the things, you know, we wouldn't have the luxuries that we want otherwise kung si Michael lang yung magtatrabaho. So I had to step in and do my part and earn a little bit of money. Yeah. That would have been the biggest sacrifice that I had to make, was just to move from the Philippines to the UK and start a completely new life here. I am blessed because Michael really supports me in all that I want to do. He is a husband that would really, if I tell him, I think I want to try doing this, he would just say, well, what's stopping you? So I don't really feel like I have sacrificed a lot in that regard because he's always had my back. He always has my back, not just had it. But yeah, so I don't really feel like I had to give up a lot other than me moving here, which in hindsight isn't really a bad thing because I think life here is a lot better. Although we don't have as much sun, but I think the quality of life is a lot better here in the UK than what it would have been like if Michael decided to move to the Philippines to be with me instead. So I think I would probably, if I'm going to weigh the pros and cons, the pros definitely outweigh the cons. There's so much more that I gained and what I've lost. So yeah, there isn't a big sacrifice that I had to make except for moving. What's it like to be a pastor's wife? It is, I don't know, it is difficult, and at the same time it is exciting. Exciting because you get to meet all sorts of people, you get to meet different personalities, you get to meet different kinds of Christians, different kinds of individuals, each with their own personalities, and you get to grow as a person because I think what it did to me is develop more grace and open my eyes to be more loving, more love for people, and at the same time it made me realize my own failings as a person. So it is difficult because what hurts your husband hurts you too. I won't really call it an achievement. No. I guess in a way it is. Ano ba, naiyak ako? I think having gone through a loss with my child and being able to get up and live life again, that probably is my biggest achievement so far. Kasi honestly, parang after nung nawala si Bethany, after I lost my first child to a stillbirth, alam mo, parang I felt like life stops, or life should stop. But the fact that I was able to manage to get back to work and actually start living life again, actually do something else with my life, do something different, explore new things, and yeah, start living life again and looking at life with more optimism, being able to value those that are dear to me, those that are important to me. That is an achievement in itself. So, yeah, that would be my greatest achievement in the next 10 to 15 years. I see myself with a family, growing together, being a good parent, God willing. I see myself working, doing something that I really, really love doing. In the next 10 to 15 years, I see myself really growing in my creativity, really growing in the gifts that God has given to me. I think that's one of the things, other things that would be considered as an achievement is during that time of loss, I actually realized that there is so much more that I can do because God's given me so much to use. So, yeah, in the next 10, 15 years, I see myself growing in my creativity, growing in my faith. I see myself as a pastor's wife, supporting the church as it grows. And yes, I am believing that our church will grow tremendously over the next few years. That's a promise that I've taken hold of from God over the last few months during lockdown. I never realized the extent of the possibilities that are out there. So, yeah, it's very generalized, but yeah, for me, that's where I see myself in 10, 15 years' time. Well, maybe yes. I think I would have...
Ano ba talaga?
No, because if things would have changed, I wouldn't be the person that I am now. I wouldn't have the experiences that I have now. Although there are decisions that I may have regretted doing, there are things that maybe I wished I could have done differently. But at the same time, I know that if I did not go through those, hindi ako ito. It wouldn't be the same JJ that's going to be here with you, that's going to be sharing stories, or that's maybe going to try out new things that will be more courageous. So, ano ba, iyakin talaga. So no, I don't want to change anything. There you go, mga ka-flips. Thank you very much for joining us again on another episode of Walk and Talk with the Flip Pinays. So thank you for joining us today as we explore Grassington and as you get to know me a little bit better. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, now's a good time to do it. Just hit on the subscribe button, hit that bell to get notified for when we upload new videos, and we will see you very soon. Bye, Flip Pinays!